also open to Michigan Virtual? Awesome. Okay, so looking first at Google Classroom for biology for today. Let's check this out. So here's what we're going to do for today. Today, we're going to finish up your 1.3 concept map. Do you want to pull that out if you had a paper copy of that 1.3 concept map that you started yesterday? If you did it digitally, can you open it up in a tab digitally? We're kind of learning as we go on how to submit these things into Michigan Virtual. So in Michigan Virtual, you will see that there is a digital document. All right, so go to Content in Michigan Virtual. And if you scroll down to Unit 1, you will see the 1.3 activity that we were doing. It looks like this, I believe. Yeah, this is it, okay? So the concept map goes with this. You guys know that because you were going through it yesterday. A lot of students were asking me questions. They're like, I don't know what to put on the boxes. Let me explain to you guys that this is a concept map for your notes of what you learned in doing this activity. So it's not set up to be like there's only one word or one sentence that should be on that space. It's organizing your thoughts as you learn them in this tutorial, okay? So you go through each of the tabs in the navigation bar, and you read them, you watch the videos that correspond with them. Hey, can you guys go to that tomato plant one? I hit allow access, and so does that work now for you guys? It's still doing that stupid message? Okay. But we know that they don't, right? Yeah. Okay. So anyway, I told you guys before, that video of the tomato plant is on Google Classroom. It's really just 30 seconds of a tomato plant using light as a stimulus to know where to grow, okay? So no big deal with that one. But anyway, as you're going through that concept map, let's open up a digital copy of that concept map. Can you open up the digital copy of the concept map on Michigan Virtual? You may have opened the one on Google Classroom, but let's open the one that's right here in Michigan Virtual because it's, that one's not opening for me on. You guys can open it. I've seen students open it, but for some reason, I'm not able to open it. I'm going to show you what it looks like, and if you click it on Michigan Virtual, it should open for you, and it should look like this. Can everybody open it up through Michigan Virtual and then just have it on your screen? And I'm going to walk to the back of the classroom and make sure that everyone can open it up on Michigan Virtual, okay? And just leave that on your screen for a second so I know everybody's with me. Open the thing that looks like that if you can. Please, everybody put that on your screen. Don't go ahead. Can you please open up that concept map through Michigan Virtual? You try. How do you get there? It's under the characteristics, 1.3 characteristics. It should say worksheet. They load a little slow. Yeah. I think. We'll see. Maybe click the other thing. Go back one. Yeah, you're good. So click the other blue thing. Go back and click the other blue thing. Back to content. Yeah, they're a little slow. If you can't bring it up on Michigan Virtual, looks like 90% of you can, then I'm going to come around and help you with that, okay? What I want you guys to realize is this is the location in Michigan Virtual is how we're going to submit it. So they've got it there for you to type on. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the paper that we wrote on yesterday, or maybe today, and we're going to go over it in class tomorrow. So finish this assignment, and then we will share in class tomorrow how we organized our notes from watching this information, okay? When we put it in digitally, don't worry, we'll put in like one word or not a ton on each of those bars. So it won't take us very long to transfer the concepts. But I need you to fill this in, and you're gonna finish that today. So you're gonna finish your 1.3 outline today in class. If you don't finish it today in class, then you can finish it for homework, okay? If you've already finished it, which I know some of you guys may have, I'm gonna tell you where we're going next. Everybody's gonna kind of be in a different place, and that's okay. But by tomorrow, everyone should have this concept map filled in either digitally, right? Either on the computer or on a piece of paper by tomorrow. Boom, okay? So we'll all be to that place. If you're already there or you want to move ahead so that maybe you can get tomorrow's in-class assignment done so you don't have homework, that's totally up to you. I'm going to tell you where we're going next because I'm going to set up the next assignment that I have opened up and made available on Michigan Virtual. And that's the handout that you grabbed as you walked in. This handout is also on Michigan Virtual, and it's also on Google Classroom. Can we switch over to that? Please don't move on with the concept map, because I'm going to fill in the top with you guys. We're all going to do the top together so that you understand how to do the bottom tomorrow in class, okay? Alrighty. So, you have options. You can open up this sheet under today. The link on Google Classroom, it's there. It looks like that. Or it's also in Michigan Virtual. I don't know if I can see things the way that you guys can see them. Oh, yep, there we go. Oops, that's not what I want. Okay. So bring it up either way. I'm gonna bring it up so I can write on it. We're gonna do this top part together, and then I'll explain how you'll do the bottom part. If you're ready to start it sometime today, great. If not, realize it's okay, because you're gonna have class time tomorrow to do this. Okay. We're gonna do this together, team. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to write down and summarize the 7 characteristics of life. Now I know you might have more than 7, and we're going to kind of merge the ones that you thought might be separate. We're going to merge them together. I'm going to help you with that, okay? Raise your hand, start us off. Remember when we have class discussions, I keep track of who is talking, and that goes into your points. So volunteering and being wrong is the same amount of points as volunteering and being right. So don't be afraid to raise your hand. It gets us thinking and talking, and really just want to see that you guys are engaging, okay? So start us off with the first attribute of life. Just kind of go with what you've learned so far. So, Charlie, start us off.
Made of cells.
Made of cells. Raise your hand if that's what you were going to say. Awesome. Let's write that one down first. Hopefully you had other ones that you might have said and Charlie didn't steal yours. Let me see another one. It's okay if you're wrong. We'll kind of just give us an opportunity to chat. Caleb?
I said able to obtain energy.
All right, good. I'm gonna put down metabolism for that, and I suggest that you do that as well, because that's more of a general word about a couple of things. So metabolism means exactly what Caleb said: energy use. And you will learn that all organisms can use the energy or the food that they have in their cells through breathing. So this metabolism is the characteristic of life that we investigated when we noticed that all living organisms breathe. Okay? Don't worry if it's kind of fuzzy and that doesn't really make a ton of sense right now. That's what I'm going to spend the year teaching you guys. How does this happen on a cellular level? What the heck am I actually talking about? Okay? But realize metabolism is kind of under that energy use, and it's the reason that organisms give off carbon dioxide. Yeah. Go for it. Reacts to a stimulus. Good. And this you might also put this down as movement. And then maybe put movement in parentheses. Awesome. Responds to stimuli, reacts to stimulus, however you want to word it. Anthony, give me another one.
All of them things containing.
Oh wait, I was going to call you Tony, wasn't I?
Doesn't matter.
I forgot. No, I gotta come up with a plan. You're Anthony, right? Or the other way around? You're Anthony and you're Tony. That's what we decided on, right? Does that sound good, guys?
Sure.
Okay, so I said it right. Anthony, sorry, I totally didn't hear what you said. As far as a biology answer, can you give it to me again?
I said all living things have DNA.
Good. All living things have DNA. We're going to write that separate because we're going to learn what DNA is and why all living things have it. So let's put ability to reproduce, and then we'll put DNA in parentheses. Sound good? Ability to reproduce. And then all life has DNA, and that's what's being passed when we reproduce. I'm also going to have you stick RNA, put and RNA. I know you don't probably know what RNA is yet, but that's okay. Write it down and we'll learn about it when we get to it. So those are kind of saying the same thing. Number 5, or not, it's not number 5, it's just the 5th one. Throw down another one for me, please. Delaney? Growth. Good. You guys are going to learn the magic of growth. How does growth happen? You're like, I know what growth is. I've seen it. I've seen plants grow. I've seen myself grow. But what exactly is causing that to happen on a cellular level? It's the same in all cells. So we're going to learn about that. I don't think we need to say anything else on that one. 6th one. We have 2 more. Look at all of them. Think about which one we might be missing. Casey or Kaylee, help us. Callie? Tell me how to say your name.
Callie.
Okay, I got it right the 3rd time.
That's right.
Still learning. All right, go for it, Callie.
Changing over time and adapting to their environment.
Good. She said changing over time. That is called evolution. That is a major central concept in biology, so please write down evolution first. That would be like the broad category. The mechanism of evolution is adaptation over time in species. So evolution you wrote down, and I know you might not have a very firm understanding of evolution. Don't worry about that, or you might think you know about it, and it might not be accurate. We're going to spend a whole unit on evolution, plus we bring in evolution in every unit because it's that big of a concept in life and living organisms, and you'll really get a solid understanding of what it is and what it is not by the end of the year. So evolution, adaptation, can you guys say over time? That is a huge part of evolution. Another huge part of evolution is that it happens at the species level. So you're writing after the word evolution, adaptation over time in species. Individuals don't evolve. Pokemon and X-Man is not real. Sorry, guys. So sorry. I mean, we'll learn more about that, why that is later. Last one, Tristan.
Maintain organization.
That's true. What am I leaving off then? native cells, metabolism, homeostasis. So those would be similar. Let's put homeostasis down, and then we're going to tie that whole organization into it, Tristan. Homeostasis. That's the one I was looking for. Thank you. All right. So homeostasis, we put in parentheses, another great biology word, by the way, that we will learn all the time, and it's central to how life functions. After the word homeostasis, let's define the word homeostasis. So will you please put down internal balance? And how does this tie into the last one, organization? Okay? So in order to maintain internal balance, we have to have organization, right? They have to be based down to the cellular level. And the cells are made out of tissues, are made out of organs, organ systems, all the way up to the organism, right? So we have a certain organization to living organisms. Let's go back to homeostasis just to give you a better feel for it so that you can use it in this activity. Homeostasis talks about how organisms meet the needs that they need to survive. So think about in your head right now, what do all organisms need to survive? Like, for example, if you were going to take care of a plant, if you were going to keep a human baby alive, if you were going to take care of a fish, what would you need to make sure that it had? If you wanted to grow fungi to, eat mushrooms, what might it need? Can you guys, everybody yell out a guess right now? Everybody yell something. Food, water, nutrition, oxygen, temperature, right? All of those things need to be met. So if you're not meeting those, or you're making sure that all of your cells have those, we have to have cells that do that. So I want you to think about, just for a real specific example about homeostasis, for you to maintain homeostasis, for you to get the water you need, for you to get the nutrients you need, right? You got to have a certain amount of potassium. Otherwise, you're going to have problems, right? You need to have magnesium and calcium. Otherwise, your neurons won't fire right and things will be bad. You have to be the right temperature. There's actually a set of cells doing that for you right now. Can anyone take a guess on what the cells, or you can even say the organs of the organ system, that allow those things to be met by all the cells of your body? Water, food, all those things. Guess?
Skin?
Your skin is a really good guess. Your skin does a really good job of maintaining your homeostasis. But if it doesn't touch your skin, how would those cells get the water and the food that they need? Like, let's think about maybe your stomach cells, right? Or your muscle cells, or your kidney, right? All of those cells are being nourished by the same. Yep.
Heart?
Yep, but what is your heart nourishing your kidney?
No, it's pumping blood to your
Blood.
system.
Okay, good. So that's like a specific example of homeostasis. So it's not so broad and a weird definition, right? Okay, we got them all. Good job, you guys. That was awesome. So now what you're going to do with this next assignment, which might be tomorrow, right? You might start it today. You might do it in class tomorrow. In Michigan Virtual, there are a bunch of videos of moving cells. So this is a video of a sea urchin, cells, and then there's explanation of this super cool phenomenon that we may have learned from these cells. This explanation is given to you by scientists or professors, and it's really fascinating stuff, but it's a lot of information. So I'm not going to ask you to tell me what these scientists found. I'm not going to give you don't need to know all the details of what they're telling you. What I want you to do is I want you to sit back, watch the video, be fascinated by life in those cells, see the cells that you might not normally be able to notice, hear what the scientist or the professor is teaching, read the words with it, and then when you're done with that, in this box, here's all you have to do. You pick one of these 7 things that you saw evidence of in the video or in the discussion, and then you explain how you saw evidence of it. So for example, let's just say in the sea urchin video and lecture, I learned how sea urchins eat food, right? That's not what this is, so if you put that, you'll get it wrong, okay? So then I would put down what attribute of life here. If it was a video about how sea urchins eat food, and we saw that, which one of these would fit?
Homeostasis.
It could. What other one would fit? Metabolism. So that's a really awesome example of how you could pick a different characteristic of life than someone else as long as you explained it. Does that make sense? So you pick one that fits the best from what you watched, and then you say, this is how that attribute of life was shown or discussed in the lecture or video. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so this is, maybe you start this today or towards the end of the hour, or probably you're going to work on this tomorrow or tonight, you know, if you can't wait to do it and you want to just keep on doing biology because you love it so much. That would be awesome. So what we're going to do for the rest of the time period is finish up that 1-3 for sure. Maybe move into the observing characteristics of life. What questions do you guys have? Okay, I'm just going to do a little speech that's probably mostly for my hybrid and online students. So in-class students, you can kind of just ignore me and get to work, okay? So for my hybrid or online students, I want you to realize that I am here for 6 hours a day with students teaching, okay? And half of the seats are empty in most of my classes. And then, so I have 6 in-person classes and I have 6 online classes. So do your best to not move ahead. If you move ahead in lessons, you're going to be confused. If you move ahead and you ask me to explain, I will tell you to wait and not move ahead, okay? So please do not move ahead, or if you choose to move ahead, that's up to you, and if you're confused, you're going to have to wait then, okay? So I cannot field emails and messages, like two of them an hour I've been getting, and that's just too much, so I would just say wait for the explanation before you start the next lesson.